Coming up next, we have a very special guest. He is the founder of the Youth Talk Show, host of the Thought Show on the Viet Success channel. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Vu Haichu, who will be talking about how tolerance can help you grow.
To be or not to be, that's the question. Inviting or viting, that's also a question. So each year, I choose a keyword, a philosophy that I can live by. And in the past, it was minimalism, it was kindness, it was gratitude, so on and so forth. But in 2022, I chose a keyword that I am going to share with you today. That is tolerance. Hello everyone, my name is Hai Trung, and I'm thrilled to be here. So, my friends studied abroad. 5 years ago, we were apart, and then we gathered again a few months ago. They asked me a question that I thought would be worth sharing today. What's the most significant difference between the version of yourself in the past and the version that we are seeing now? And I answer that in the past, 5 years ago, I was lost. I was at the intersection of my life, many roads to choose. I didn't know which one was right for me. I didn't know which one was my destined destination. And after 5 years, my answer to them right now is I am still at an intersection with many roads to choose. But this time, I feel excited for the next journey to come. And here's why. That is tolerance that helped me grow this. So as you can see on the screen, it's a very typical image of tolerance that you can find on the internet, right? We live in a world that is so diverse, many people coming from different backgrounds and also different religions. We live all happily together, we embrace diversity, etc. That is something that people usually say. So today, I'm not going to dive into this much, but I want to talk more about tolerance within yourself instead of without. Let's have a look at the definition, right? So it is the quality of being willing to accept or tolerate somebody, something, especially opinions or behavior that you may or may not agree with, or people who are not like you. Let me tell you a story. You look at the screen, you will see many different kinds of noodles, right? I hated noodles so much, but my best friends love it so much. So we were roommates, and then every single day he would ask me to try some kind of noodles, which I already hated. I had to choose whether to eat alone or to eat with him and eat noodles. Gradually, I changed from hating noodles to some kind of tolerating noodles. And after that, now we're apart. We're not friends anymore, but I still love noodles. I realized that it's very strange that you can love something that you used to hate, right? And I wondered why. So here's another story also about myself. In college, you may have already known, data analysis, statistics. I failed that course 3 times, and I swore to God that I would never take the similar course again. But now I'm taking my master's degree in data science. And I have to be, a master in statistics, data analysis, etc., etc. And you may wonder why I changed from the person who hated data so much into someone who now chose a major in data science. It is tolerance. Next, you would see a lot of codes and everything on the screen. So this is what I wrote when I studied data science. And to be honest, it was frustrating, it was hard, it was taking a lot of my time. But then I realized one thing. When I miss a dot, when I miss a parenthesis, when I missed a comma, I wouldn't be able to get the answer from the computer. The computer doesn't understand me because I don't understand the computer. And it got me thinking, when we communicate with people around us, even though we speak the same language, Vietnamese, English, you name it, but there are languages within ourselves that sometimes it will take a lot more time to spend with them to really understand them. Because if you miss a dot, if you miss a comma, if you miss a parenthesis, you may not fully understand them. And when you don't understand them, they will not show us the results that we are supposed to see. So I started to think that actually you can communicate better with someone by learning their language or learning their codes. Each of us has our own codes, our own quote-unquote languages. And so this is the reason why I showed this slide here. So we were talking a lot about tolerance, right? Why and how tolerance played such a big role in my development. This is tolerate others. This is something that people usually say about tolerance. Like, where we tolerate others, we live in the world all together and embrace diversity, etc. But there's another kind of tolerance, which is tolerating life. Life brings to you so many different things, and with ups and downs and a lot of unexpected things. You can be rich, you can be poor, you can be a random person in this world. And when you compare yourself with others, you will see that it is not fair either with you or with them. So this is the life of a sunflower. We as humans are smart, but I don't know, and I'm curious whether we are happier than a sunflower. It just exists the way it is instead of worrying too much about life. And by that, I can say it tolerates life. The most important thing that I want to focus on today is tolerating yourself. Please admit it and raise your hand if you have ever looked at yourself in the mirror and you are not happy with how you look. I have that all the time. I didn't like my moles. I didn't like how I didn't like the shape of my face, my nose like ugh, and my height, my weight. I think that not only me, but this is like a general story of all of us. We have the same feeling. When we look at ourselves in the mirror, we will see imperfections. Our body has been with us since we were born. But do you feel like you are judging it more than other people do? My mom said that I looked okay, but sometimes I don't think so. She kind of tolerates me and how I look better than I do. That's why tolerating someone, tolerating yourself, is a skill that can liberate you in many different ways. And I have a principle in my life. in order to tolerate others, tolerate life, and tolerate myself. That is to say yes until I can't say yes anymore. So a lot of people think that, you should say no. You should learn how to say no in order to have more time for things that matter. That's a good way of life, I believe. But we should not exclude the people who love to say yes. When I say yes all the times, I know that I like something and I don't like something. I used to take classes in piano, guitar, and also Spanish, Chinese, Korean, and I figured that I didn't like, any of them. And it was okay because at least I figured out something that I dislike. And when it comes to tolerance, usually when I told my friends about my keyword in 2022, I'm so excited that my keyword this year is going to be tolerance. And they'd be like, wow, what's that? They don't understand it because it is very difficult to translate that into Vietnamese. Tolerance is like us. It has two faces. If we put a positive attitude towards it, then it would be a positive tolerance. But if we put a negative attitude towards it, it would be negative tolerance. Please raise your hand if you have had to tolerate someone or something in your life. I see a lot of hands, and I just use the word had to. Like when you have to do something, sometimes it's not positive, right? But when you can just say, I tolerate it happily, it is a different picture. So what I lean toward is to shift myself from negatively tolerate something to positively tolerate something. And it is very life transforming. By that, you will be able to allow yourself to be A, allow people to be B, C, or D. If you allow yourself to be straight, you can allow people to be L, G, B, T, Q, A+, for example. And I would have to say that it is something that you can learn. Learning to love something is a skill. I have learned, I have tolerated, I have learned to love how to code. I have learned how to love data science. I have learned how to love to eat noodles. I think all of us here today, we are living in a very fast-moving world, and sometimes we can just say, I love this one, but the other one, I just don't like it, so I would never try. But if you are tolerant enough to try everything, you may see surprising things. One of them is freedom. I think a lot of you have heard of the phrase, happiness is to want what you have, not have what you want, right? I think freedom is the same thing. Freedom to me is to want what you have instead of have what you want. If you learn how to want what you have, you wouldn't need any other thing in your life to be happy and to be free. So all of my life journey includes a lot of ups and downs like other people. It includes hardships, the moments that I have been lost, and also sometimes I couldn't find myself and I was trying to looking for something that I don't know. And sometimes I also had to fight for something. But all in all, when I'm here, standing here today, having the job that I want, serving the community that I care for, I realized that all of the regrets, all of the things that I suffered in the past make sense. All of them turns out to be gratitudes instead of regrets. Surprisingly, when I shared this with my friends, they were like, so what about, all of those hardships, all of those positive, negative feelings that you had in the past? It can change. Feelings can also change, and experience, even though bad, can also become, something positive as long as when you look at, you feel like you were tolerant. And last but not least, tolerance is the highest result of education. My message for you today is to tolerate and to know that we're imperfect, that we are fools, but we are completely fine with it. We are okay with it, and we learn to love what life brings to us. Thank you.